All right, welcome to Wednesday, May 13th episode of What's Up with Mr. Beck. I'm sorry it's going to come to you a little bit later. It's 9 o'clock now, which means it'll probably get up to you about like 10:30-ish after editing. We'll see how good I can do. You tell me. Okay, so I'll start off with today's to-do list. You will watch What's Up with Mr. Beck. Check. Okay, you will send me who today's episode was brought to you by. Okay, then send good news. Then Wednesday's assignment, it's on vocabulary and Ice Age. Why we settled where we settled. This is our second run at Ice Age. These questions, I promise, 100% guarantee, without a doubt, will be on the test coming up Friday. Okay, this will be due to me by Thursday at 11 p.m. Okay, Thursday at 11 p.m. Also, CNN 10 today. If you're having trouble with the CNN 10, you need to restart your app. If that doesn't work, restart your iPad. If that doesn't work, use your phone. If that doesn't work, use your MacBook. If that doesn't work, pick your nose and then send Mr. Beck an email. You have to try to problem solve on your own, okay? Yesterday, if you did the CNN 10, you're getting extra credit on the test Friday. Guaranteed 2 points at least, okay? If you didn't, you're not being punished. I'm not going to put it in as a 0. I'm going to put it in as if you did it. That's that. So let's get into good news. I'm doing it today. Tell me something good. Tell me something good. It's been a while. Man, that felt good. Woo! Okay, so good news is the donut delivery was a success. All Gryffindors got their donuts. Oh, they were so much driving, but it was 100% worth it. I love seeing your faces. Some of you didn't look so excited to see me, but hey, whatever. You know, we did it. We got it done. It was good to see you. You earned those donuts. I'm so proud of you guys. Hey, other teams, step it up. I want to see some different faces. Okay, let's go to good news. We'll start with Jarek. I watched a movie on Disney Plus called Onward. I cried. I have not seen Onward yet. You guys have mentioned it a couple of times on Good News. I definitely need to look into it. Okay, yeah, you like that. Michaela, my good news is that my mom, sister, and I played Skip-Bo. How do you play Skip-Bo? You need to get rid of your master pile, which has 30 cards on it. You also play your master pile first, then you play your cards. Last but not least, you have 5 cards in your hand. Okay? So I'm getting it. I'm starting to get a little bit more understanding of what Skip-Bo is. I might just watch a YouTube video on it. Okay, Avea. My good news is that I am going to play outside and play a board game with my sisters and mom. Cool. What board game did you play? Next one, Aubrey. Good news is I got my donut. Yep. Great. Cool. Very exciting. Shawnee! Good news is my aunt made me a custom mug with the Hogwarts symbol on it. So I know that in Mr. Beck's class, you're a Gryffindor. But Shawnee, what are you really? What do you think you are? Are you a Hufflepuff? Are you a Slytherin? Are you a Ravenclaw? Or are you a Gryffindor? I really do think you're a Gryffindor. I think that was the one that was like, she's got to be a Gryffindor. Okay, Maria. Woo! We got pictures of what she's doing in Minecraft, finally! Look at these beautiful pieces of work. This is so detailed. Maria, thank you so much for showing us. I want more. I want a Friday. Every Friday. I want a picture of what's going on in Minecraft. Okay. Next, we got Coleman shooting some shots. When I went to Coleman's house, I was trying to see if he'd let me see the basketball court. He's like, it's way back there. I don't want to take you out of it. Sure. You were just afraid that I was going to school you. Jada, we went to Moss Lake for a walk with my two cousins. It was really fun to see them and talk to them. It was pretty nice out. Another good news is that the cows across the road were out for the first time this year. I love watching them play, especially love seeing the calves run around. They are pretty noisy at night, and sometimes we can't get to sleep. Here's a picture of them. Well, some of them. They quickly ran away from us, though, so you had to take the picture fast. That's very cool. Very, very cool. Brooklyn, thank Grandma for the tacos. They were so good. Really good. Taco Tuesday at Brooklyn Grandma's place. Amazing. Okay, Mr. Beck came to my grandma's restaurant and gave me a donut. Yes, I did. Okay, so we're going to get into lesson 7 today. All right, so here it is. Okay, review of the Ice Age. Why we settled, where we settled. This lesson we're going to learn again about the Ice Age. We're really going to focus on why we settled, where we settled. I promised you that the questions that you see on this PowerPoint will be on the test on Friday, so make sure you're paying attention. That's why I'm redoing this video. So let's start off with a little imagining. I like to imagine that I was in the Ice Age, trying to find new land, following my food. So here we go. Let's imagine. The little band of ancient hunters crept along cautiously, stopping often only to listen to the sounds of the game lumbering through the underbrush ahead. An icy wind swept down from the slowly melting glacier, but the sun was warmer than it had been for a long time. The hunters moved on, carrying sharp-pointed stone spears to bring down on the fleeing mammoth, or was it a mastodon? The elephant-like mammal pushed forward blindly, trying to escape its pursuers. The hunters themselves did not realize that every step was taking them further and further east into a land where no human being had ever walked before. The men did not know that pursuing their prey, they were stepping off a broad land bridge that connected Asia with what is now Alaska. The hunting band was comprised of the first humans to set foot on North America. The story of the earliest people to come to what was known today as the Americas begins thousands of years ago. Migrating from Asia, these early people moved slowly throughout North and South America. Over time, they developed many different ways of life. They built different dwellings, wore different clothes, spoke different languages. Today, we know them by many different names, such as the Cherokee, the Iroquois, and the Aztec. Together, they are known as Native Americans or American Indians. They were the first Americans. Question number 1. What is one theory that explains how early people arrived in the Americas? A. They followed animals across the land bridge. B. Escaped persecution. C. Were captured and were brought here. And D. Came over on an airplane. So why migration theory? Scientists believe in migration theory that because of glaciers during the Ice Age, huge amounts of water froze and sea levels fell. Coastlines changed, in some places that had been separated by water were now joined by land. That land was the Bering Strait, which we already learned about, became a low, wide, treeless plain, which was also called Beringia. This land bridge connected Siberia with present-day Alaska. The dates are a little foggy for archaeologists. They're not sure if it was 10,000 or 40,000 years ago. They found evidence of migration over this land bridge. Scientists believe that these people traveled in bands. A band is not like Kiss or the Backstreet Boys. It's a small group of people who worked together. Yes, the Backstreet Boys and Kiss do work together, but they're singing songs. These people are founding a nation. They don't even know it, though. Okay, But there was no problem here because they had fire. So they could easily adapt their food supply. When you're just a small group of people and you're going from place to place, you're called a nomad. These people were definitely nomads. Okay? So the ice age starts to end. Let's talk about that. Temperatures began to rise and the ice melted and the seas returned. The land bridge disappeared and people could no longer walk to America because the water had now filled that space, that plain that they had. Beringia was covered. Many of the plants and animals that needed cold to survive died out. So the people were dependent on these animals and these plants. This is what they ate, and now they died out. We have to improvise. We have to find a new way. Many people relied on the food source, so they had to change their life, which is what I just said. At some time, these early Americans were developing more efficient tools. So not just spears, better spears. Not just knives, specialized knives. And learning about the native plants and animals. So now we're switching from Macedon to the animals that were around in the areas that they settled. Suddenly, they were able to settle down and maybe only move between the summer and the winter months. So in the summer, they would live in one area, and then it would get to fall. They would know because leaves change or crops die out, temperatures start getting colder. When they started getting colder, they would go to a different settlement for the winter months. So I like to think of this like birds in the winter, like they go to a warmer place. These people did something along those lines. Some of them stayed in harsh environments, like we know because the Inuit people. Okay, early humans were hunters and gatherers. So there's this big change with the people. Before, we just hunted the food, we followed the food, we ate the food. Now, we're starting to hunt the food still, yes, but we're also gathering. They hunted animals and gathered plants for food, then moved to a new location when the food ran out. So they would hunt all the animals in a location, they would all disappear, they would get all the food that was around there, they would make it a wasteland, and then they go, the land has been consumed, and then we move to another place full of life. Go there, do the same thing, hunt all the animals, eat all the berries, gather everything. It's full, then they could go to another place. Eventually they did start like circling around the same area because over time everything started growing back. Okay. They came to depend on natural environment for shelter. Living in caves, settlers made living in caves and shelters made of rock, branches, and animal skins. This is where Native Americans get that resourceful character trait. They use everything that they have. Like we learned about with the Inuit people, when they would hunt the whale, they'd use every single piece of the whale. Okay, their bands got bigger. Instead of 4 or 5, now they're consisting of 30 people, including several families. The work is often divided among individuals. The men mostly hunted and fished, and the women gathered nuts and berries and cared for children. Toward the evening, both men and women would work together to prepare their meal. I like that. While the men skinned the animals they killed that day, the women would grind the nuts and berries into a flour. Okay, question number 2. What is one reason experts did not think early people changed from hunters to hunters and gatherers? The ice age thawed, bigger animals died out, plants were more nutritious, nomads moving to rivers. So we know that they traveled to rivers. One of these things seem like they don't fit. What one is it? What one did we not talk about at all? Okay, and then let's go to question number 3. Why did hunters have to find new ways to get food when the Earth's climate began to get warmer? They wanted to try new food. The animals were stuck on the other side. The large animals they hunted eventually became extinct. They did not have to change the food that they got. So, going on, they're becoming more sophisticated. So we heard them mixing those berries, and now they mixed the flour with water and created dough, which, when cooked, would become bread that would be eaten with meat brought back by the hunters. So now we're having multiple things with our dinner. We're not just eating meat anymore. We're eating bread. We're eating meat. It's got berries in it. Sounds delicious. Some of the animals they killed and ate were raccoons, deer, antelope, and rabbits. While many early Americans continued as food gatherers, others became the earliest farmers as they began to experiment with planting seeds and growing their own food. Over time, they began growing corn, squash, pumpkins, and beans. And this early technology changed life forever, as they were able to now stop wandering over the land and could now build permanent homes because they were going to have that constant food source of the plants. Now, the animals, they would hunt still. Now they would hunt in different locations. Okay. So question 4, looking at this picture, okay, how did the first Americans live during the Ice Age? On the picture and your classroom readings and discussions, our PowerPoint presentations, what can you conclude? Support your answer with 2 specific details. So I'm looking at the picture. How did they live? This is a very open question. There's a lot of correct answers here. I see a small group of people, wink, in a Backstreet Boys kiss, okay? And what's that in the background? Are they doing something? It looks like he's throwing something. Is that a reindeer? Tips. Okay. And then question number 5. What does this map show about early migration? Include how early people came to migrate or settle in America. Support your answers with specific details and complete sentences. So I'm seeing at the top, Asia. There's this thing called Beringia. Makes me think of what we learned about earlier today. And then they start going down. I wonder what we could say. You need to have at least 2 details in here, okay? How did they migrate? Why did they migrate? Think about those when you're trying to answer these questions. Okay, so today, you do have a CNN 10. Let's pull up what it says in the CNN 10 today. CNN 10, on demand, boom. Also, hey, if you're struggling with, I'm going to start sending the YouTube link to the CNN 10 episode. I think that might help a little bit more with it. So, May 13th, CNN 10, today on the CNN 10. CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta joins us today to discuss antibodies. Afterward, we are going to benefit the surface. Oh, not benefit. We are going beneath the surface to explore the history of a world-famous subway system. Watch that and so much more on the CNN 10. Okay, I'm definitely seeing impact of disease, but I want to see if you can find a different category for this to fall in. Is it going to be migration, scarcity, human rights violations, impact of trade? I want to see if those things you can find those, not just impact of disease. Okay, that's the CNN 10 for today. Let's go into the precept.
What was that? The weather. Very peculiar, don't you think?
Yeah. Looks like the winds are changing.
Change is good.
Yeah, but it's not easy. I know what I have to do, but going back means I'll have to face my past. I've been running from it for so long. Ow! Jeez, what was that for?
It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Yeah, but it still hurts.
Oh, yes, the past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. You see? So what are you going to do?
First, I'm gonna take your stick.
No, not a stick. Hey! Where are you going?
I'm going back.
Good! Go on! Get out of here!
Today's episode was brought to you by Darth.
Lies! Deceptions!
Today's episode was really brought to you by one of my favorite characters in the Disney generation, Saw Gerrera. Lies, deceptions. Okay, so that's all we have for today's show. As always, hashtag choose kind, hashtag stay awesome, hashtag Jade and Joy. Keep sending your characters all by yourself without me emailing you. Mr. Beck, out.